Greetings, treasurers. I am Zikhona Makoe. I'm going to assist you with the cash book. Let's start. The cash book, the big book, and the cash book, the Excel one, they all look the same. So we'll start with section 1. Section 1, it's for receipt details. Section 2, it's funds to be sent to the conference. Section 3, it's funds to be retained by the church. And section 4 is the banking side. Okay. Under the section 1, which is the receipt details, we've got column 5, column 6, column 7, and column 8. So column 5 is the date. That's where we record the date. And column 6 is the receipt number. We take the receipt number from the receipt book, so we record the receipt number in column 6. And then we've got column 7, which is the name of the giver, which is the name and surname of the giver. And then column 8, it's the total. For the Excel one, it populates itself. For the manual one, you have to calculate using your calculator and come up with the totals. And then under section 2, we've got the tithe amount, column 9. We've got the local conference amount, column 10. We've got the union conference amount in column 11. World mission, column 12. Camp meeting offering. So column 13, it's the camp meeting offering. Column 14, we've got harvest gathering. And column 15 is a free column, whereby you can include whatever you need to include. And then column 16 is the 50% local conference. The 50% local conference comes from the lump sum, which is column 17. So the lump sum, column 17, is broken down into 2, which is column 18 and column 16. Okay. And then we've got column 19, which is the church budget. We've got column 20, which is the Sabbath school expense. We've got column 21, which is the church expense. And we've got column 22, which is the building fund. We've got column 23, which is the youth. And then column 24, local evangelism. Column 25, it's a free column whereby you can put any other department you'd like to put. Column 26, it's the date of the deposit in your bank account. So section 4, it's about your bank account. So column 26 will be the date of deposit. And then column 27 will be your fixed deposit, if you have a fixed deposit account. And the column 28 will be your savings account, if you have a savings account. And then column 29 will be your current account. So in this case, we will be using only the current account. So at the bottom, which is line 20, row 26, section B, it will be your totals. Your total income, you record it there. For Excel, it populates itself. For the manual one, you'll have to calculate it. And then we've got section A. I forgot to mention section A. Section A is our brought forward. It's our brought forward for the current month, which was the carried forward for the previous month. So those are the balances from the previous month. If you didn't have a complete cash book before you starting, so you don't need to worry. You'll just take the balance from the bank statement and put it as is under church budget, the amount that is there. Put it as is under church budget. But if you have a previous cash book that was done properly, you can take the balances from the previous cash book and populate each and every column according to the previous cash book. So if you don't have it, don't worry. You just take the total as per your bank statement, the previous bank statement. You put it under column 19, and then you also put that same amount under current account as your brought forward. Okay, then section C, it's our payments. In section C, you record your payments, and then section D will be your total payments, and then section E will be the balances carried forward. So the balances for this month that will be carried forward to the following month. And when they get to the following month, they will be the balance brought forward. Okay, that's right. Now, we need to go to the cash book that has transactions so that I can show you how we are putting the transactions into the cash book. Let's go into the one with the transactions. Okay, so on this one, this is the one with the transaction. It's at the beginning of January 2024. We took the balance as at the end of December 2023, 31st of December 2023. You take the balance from your bank statement, you put it under church budget. And in this case, our balance on the bank statement is 1,550. So we put it as is there, 1,550 for each church budget. So in this example, we had a previous cash book that was balancing. So our church budget is 1,550. Our building fund, it's 350. And our youth, it's 350. Local evangelism, 400. That makes a total of 2,650. That same total of 2,650, it's the same total as our opening balance in our bank account. As we said, we're using the current account, it's 2,650. That is how the closing balances were at the end of December 2023. So our first Sabbath in 2024, it was the 6th of January 2024. The first receipt that we have, here's the date, 6th January 2024. Then the receipt number, it's receipt number 1 as per our receipt book. And the first receipt is the Sabbath school offering. The Sabbath school offering was 120. So we take the 120, we put it under lump sum. And remember, the offering is 50% local conference and 50% local church. So our 50% went to column 16, which is 50% local conference, and another one went to column 18, which is our 50% local church. That's our first receipt. The bank is not affected because the money, it's cash that we have on hand. Right. The second receipt, same day, same Sabbath, it's receipt number 2. It's the divine service offering. The divine service offering, it's a total of 140. Now we put it under lump sum because it's a lump sum offering. The same as Sabbath school, 50% local church, 50% local conference. There we are. We go to the third one. Our third receipt for the Sabbath, it's Miss CFO. Miss CFO did an EFT and sent us the proof of payment. So in the envelope, we have a proof of payment. We mark it as EFT there. There is the amount for Miss CFO. The total is 200 Rand. 100 Rand is tithe. And 80 Rand is lump sum offering. There we go. Lump sum offering is 50% local church, 50% local conference. And then 10 Rand is youth. And then 10 Rand is local evangelism. That makes a total of 200 Rand. Now, the money didn't come to us as cash. It went to the bank. We got the proof of payment and the breakdown. Now the bank is affected. We need to update the bank. There it is. 2nd, that's the date of the deposit. It's the 2nd of January 2024. There's the 200. We update our bank because the money is already in our bank account. Okay. So we go to the 4th receipt for the Sabbath. The fourth receipt for the Sabbath is from Brother Press. Brother Press, the total is 400. Of the 400, 200 is tithe. There we are. We're recording the tithe. 100 rand is camp meeting offering. It's camp meeting offering. We record the camp meeting offering. And then the other 100 rand is lump sum offering. Lump sum offering, 50% local church, 50% local conference. Because Brother Press gave us cash in the envelope, the bank is not affected. We do not update the bank because Brother Press gave us the cash. Now we get to the totals. So the people who are using the manual cash book, you need to do totals every Sabbath. So you skip a line and then you do your totals. You write under name totals and do your totals so that it's not a long list up until month end and you have to do that manually. You have to calculate that manually. But for those who are using the Excel spreadsheet, you can have a long list because it calculates for itself. Okay. So for that Sabbath, the totals 860, the total of all the income that we received. For that Sabbath, it's 860. But that 860, we need to remember it includes the EFT, that is money that is in our bank account that we don't have it on hand. And then for the tithe, we've got 300 rands. For camp meeting, it's 100 rand. For 50% local conference, we've got 220. And for 50% local church, we've got 220. Okay, for this example, it was nice. Everything was balancing. Sometimes you'll find out your balances are not maybe there's a 50 cents on the other side and then 50 cents on the other side. It won't be a full amount. So it's okay if it's not balancing like that. For instance, is at 70 rand 15 cents and you don't have the 5 cents because we don't have 5 cents anymore. So you will make the local conference higher the other month, and then the other month you will make the local church higher. So we must try and balance it. We mustn't always give it to the local conference and not give it to the local church when it's not balancing like that. All right. Now, after we've done our totals for the Sabbath, we need to take what belongs to the church bank account, and what belongs to the conference to the conference bank account. We're going to do banking, right? Now the amount for the conference, it's the tithe, 300 rands plus 100 rand, it's 400 rand plus 220, it's 620, right? Yes, that's for the local conference. So we need to take that amount to the conference. And then for the local church, we've got 220 plus 10 rand plus another 10 rand, which is 230, 240, which needs to go to our bank account. But now remember, the money for the CFO, we don't have it in on hand, the 200 rand. So it's not going to balance like that. So how much are we supposed to deposit for the local church, excluding the CFO's amount? So the cash that needs to go to the local church is 180. That's the amount that will go to the local church. It's the 240 total minus the 60 rand from the CFO. That is the 40 rand and the 10 rand and the other 10 rand minus. That makes 180. So we go and deposit the 180 in our bank account. And then we come back, we put the deposit date as per the deposit slip, which is the 8th of January 2024. There's the 180. Okay, now we balance our bank. Okay, and then we take the money that goes to TOC, we deposit it into TOC's bank account, and now it's going to appear under payments in our cash book. So there it is, cash payment on the 8th of January 2024, TOC 480, which is the 860 minus the 200 rand from the CFO. Where's the CFO? Oh, it's 100 rand from the CFO, and the 40 rand, which is 140. So minus the 140 from the CFO. There it is, 480. Okay, now we need to break it down, the 480. It's 200 rand type, 100 rand camp meeting, and then 180 local conference. That's how we distribute it there. Okay, and now we have the payments for the Sabbath. We also write them down under the payment section. So we did a withdrawal on the 10th of January 2024. The amount was given to Nora for Pathfinder transport. It's a total of 150. Because it's Pathfinder, where is it coming from? From the youth department. We update the payments for the youth department. Because it was a withdrawal, our bank was affected. There's the date of the withdrawal. We deduct the 150 from our bank account. Okay. The next one, at the end of the month, we've got our bank statement. We're balancing our cash book. We look for bank charges. We calculate all the bank charges, and we put them also as payments, because we are paying now the bank with the bank charges. It's money that went out of our account, the bank charges. So we need to update our cash book with the bank charges. You can put them as a lump sum, or you can put them weekly if you want to, but I think it's better if you just add them all for the month, and then you put them as a lump sum. So the bank charges for our account, it was 12 rand, and that one goes to church budget, because it doesn't affect a certain department, but it affects the whole church. So it goes under church budget. They are the bank charges, and our bank is affected by the bank charges because the bank charges were taken out of the bank. So we need to update our bank. So we put the date 31st, because we make them a lump sum, 31st of January 2024. There's the 12 rand for bank charges. Now, we check all our EFTs from the bank statement. We record them in our cash book. In this case, we only have one EFT, which is Miss CFO. So we pay it back now to TOC, because on that day when we were doing the deposit, the money we didn't have on hand. So now we do a transfer from our bank to TOC bank account, because if we're gonna withdraw the money from our bank and go and deposit it to the TOC bank account, we're gonna be charged bank charges for withdrawing the money. So it's better to do a transfer. So we're doing an EFT, which is electronic funds transfer, from our bank to the TOC bank account at the end of the month. So what we owe TOC that came straight to our bank account is that 140 from Miss CFO. So there's the 140. What was it for? 100 rand was for tithe, and 40 rand was offering, local conference offering. There it is. We put it like that. And then, because now our bank is affected, we need to update our bank. Whenever we do any transaction that affects our bank, we need to update section 4. Section 4 as a whole. Now, 31st January 2024, there's the 140 of EFTs. And then we do our totals. There's our totals for the month of January, and we also total from the bank side as well. Now, the formula now to get to our balances brought forward, right? The formula to get to our balances brought forward is A, balance brought forward, plus total income minus total expenses equals to our balance carried forward. Okay, so it's A, section A, plus section B minus D, section D, the total payment, equals E, right? So we get to the total. We do the same for each and every column. We do the same for each and every column, then we get our totals. Now, this is how we see that our cash book is balancing. The total amount here in column 8 should be exactly the same as what we have in the bank. There it is. The bank balance is 2,728. 2,728. Our cash book balances. For any questions or extra training on the cash book, feel free to contact your auditor. If you don't know your auditor, we can call the TOC and then they will let you know who your auditor is. Thank you so much.